1960 saw the first full season of a new type of racing in this country, Formula Junior. New cars and new drivers who were to provide some of the most exciting racing of the year. We'd heard much of the Italian Stangolini with its front engine layout, but our efforts with front engine cars were not quite so successful. It soon became obvious that the main contenders for the Motor Racing Formula Junior Championship were the Cooper and the Lotus, both rear-engine cars. The Lotus, with its small frontal area and light weight, was only one answer to the formula. The Gemini favored an engine in the front, but Coopers stayed with their rear-engine design. Lola, Envoy, Gemini, an exciting prospect for the battles ahead. The formula requires that standard production engines be used, and Lotus employ the new Ford Anglia engine with twin-choke Weber carburetors. Coopers fit the Austin A40 unit, also with a Weber. The Gemini was built and raced by the Checkered Flag stable, and Ian Raby produced the rear-engined Envoy. The Lola, designed by Broadley, and the Elva, designed by Nichols, both well known in sports car racing. This, unfortunately, was turned down by the scrutineers. Production engines had to be used, but chassis could be designed from scratch. Brakes could be outboard, cut away for extra cooling, or inboard, heavily ribbed. Carburetors. Some chose SUs with ram pipes and spent many a happy hour getting them in balance. Others preferred the twin-choke Weber. All cars were water-cooled. You poured the water in at the top, and it came out at the bottom. These, then, were the cars. But what about the drivers? World champion motorcyclist John Surtees joined the car racing boys at the wheel of a Cooper. Jeff Duke, also a champion motorcyclist, was successful with the Gemini. Dennis Taylor also took to Formula Junior. Keith Balisat, well-known rally driver, and Ian Raby tries everything. And of course, the well-known big game hunter was there to keep us in the picture. But it was Trevor Taylor and Jim Clark in their Lotuses who were to set the pace. And so, dressed to kill, the Formula Junior Brigade turned up at Brands Hatch for the international meeting on August the 27th. Somebody buying a racing car by installments. "22 Formula Junior cars came out for the start of the John Davey Trophy, the 11th event to count for the Motor Racing Championship. The flag's up, and they're away. Coming into the bottom straight is the fastest traffic jam you've ever seen. The watches are on the leaders, and it's a scorching pace. Second time round, and it's Ashdown's Lola with McKee in the Lotus a car's length behind. On the fourth lap, it's McKee in the lead with Ashdown second as they go down into the bottom straight. But by half distance, McKee's in the pits, and the lead goes to Trevor Taylor, Lotus. The The Formula Junior cars are showing their handling qualities on this tricky circuit. Here, in slow motion, Dennis Taylor in the Lola. Uberhoff, Lotus, and the leader, Trevor Taylor, beginning to lap the back markers. Surtees, Cooper, now in third place, with the field well spread out. And Taylor's given the ease up signal after having broken the Formula Junior lap record. Last lap, and Taylor's 10 seconds ahead. The John Davey Trophy goes to Taylor at an average speed of over 85 miles an hour. In second place, Jim Clark. Well, we seem to have got the bugs out of that. This win puts Taylor well in the lead for the Motor Racing Formula Junior Championship. The Gold Cup meeting at Oulton Park saw a large entry of Formula Junior machines. By now there was no question about it. Lotus were on winning form. A perfect day, as cars are prepared in the paddock. The standard of preparation is very high, and it's unusual for a Formula Junior machine to drop out through mechanical failure. I know it goes on here somewhere. Some were super confident. They didn't unwrap the cars until the 5-minute signal. Shouldn't you be preparing the car or something? Daddy, why's all that oil coming out of the bottom? While the Formula Junior drivers prepared for their race, the Formula One boys were showing how it should be done. Ken Tyrrell with the Cooper, and the very pretty Caravelle. It's first right at the end of the straight, followed by a couple of bends, and then go straight on till you come to some trees. Chris Summers, Lotus. And so to the start, with 28 cars lined up. Number 32, Trevor Taylor. Number 33, Peter Arundel, both in Lotuses. 2 minutes to go. Number 64 is Proctor. Number 31, Jim Clark. Number 37, McKee. One minute to go. And they're away, 4 abreast into the first bend. Coming down into Cascades, it's Clark in the lead, followed by Proctor and Arundel, all in Lotuses, with the pack beginning to spread out already. First time at Lodge Corner is Clark, Arundel, Proctor. The order's the same at Cascades, but Clark's pulling away. Nobody can match the pace set by Clark in the Lotus, and he sets up a new junior lap record at over 89 miles an hour. The pace is too hot for Uvarov's Lotus, and he comes in with overheating troubles. Meanwhile, Clark continues to break all records and is soon lapping the tail enders. Lower down the field, individual battles are being fought. Number 42 is Major Malik in his U2. By half distance, it was obvious that no one was making any impression on the leaders, but there was no easing up, with the race average in the upper 80s. Seen here in slow motion is McKee in the Lotus and Fenning in the Venom. Looks like hard work. Major Malik again. Clark is beckoned past as he laps a slower car, and McKee goes through fast in 5th place. Fenning is still working to stay on the tarmac, and Barisat takes a clean line through Cascades. Now the watches are on Clark as he goes into his last lap. The checkered flag is ready, and nothing can stop him now. And he goes over the line, an easy winner ahead of Trevor Taylor. Silverstone, the British Empire Trophy, last of the season's Formula Junior events, and certainly the wettest. As Jim Clark was ineligible for this event, it didn't count towards the championship, and the final result placed Clark and Taylor, both in Lotuses, equal first for the Motor Racing Formula Junior Championship. This was more like motor boating than motor racing, but it did serve to show the extremely fine handling qualities of these racing cars, which had, in one short summer, put Britain on top in international Formula Junior.
What are the limits of a 1000cc engine? Honda decided to find out during the 1966 Formula 2 races. The Racer is powered by a 4-cylinder double overhead camshaft engine newly developed by Honda. It incorporates numerous original Honda design ideas. The engine is mounted in a Brabham chassis. Driving one of the Honda Formula 2 racers is Jack Brabham of Australia. Pilot of the other Honda is Dennis Hume of New Zealand. The world's top drivers and racers such as the Cooper, BRM, Lotus and Batra supplied the competition in the 1966 Formula 2 series. The series opened with the Sunday Mirror Trophy race at the Goodwood Circuit in England. Some 50,000 spectators saw the Honda racers take the lead from the start, running away from even the world's top drivers such as Jim Clark and Graham Hill. It was a Honda show all the way, with Jack Brabham crossing the finish line barely ahead of Dennis Hume. Both had record times. Honda was the car to beat from the very first race. The Grand Prix at Pau, France came next. The superior engines and staying power of the Honda racers again carried them over the finish line first and close together. The pair of Hondas are tuned to perfection for the third contest at the Solder circuit in Belgium. They so overwhelmed the competition that the drivers didn't even have to go all out. The Honda formation was now established as the star attraction at Formula 2 races. The fourth race was at the wooded Crystal Palace course in England. As the checkered flag came down, the Honda Formula 2s were far ahead of the third-place men and the rest of the pack. Leading European automobile firms did not take defeat easily. They fought back, developing new engines, jokingly called Honda Eaters, in an effort to beat the seemingly invincible Honda machines. As the 1966 series went into the second half, competition intensified. The fifth race at the Reims circuit in France. Jack Brabham won in his superior Honda, but the typical Honda formation sweep was denied when an engine problem developed in Hume's Formula 2 racer. The sixth race was at the Rouen circuit. This time, Dennis Hume captured the laurels for Honda, but a costly spin compelled Brabham to retire after he'd set a new lap record. Victory was still there, but the brilliance of the Honda formation was missing.
What do you think of the Honda engine?
Honda were able to do sufficient technical development on the engine, and the engine's gone extremely well, and I don't think we've ever had engines before that have gone so well.
But not for long. At the Karlskoga circuit in Sweden, the Honda drivers got rid of the gremlins and roared home first and second. They also repeated the 1-2 sweep in the 8th race on the Kaimola circuit in Finland. It was the 8th consecutive win for Honda in 1966. Next was the Vendée Grand Prix in France, and the competition was becoming closer and closer with only 4 races left on the sporting calendar. Brabham's Honda was the winner, but Hume lost his second place position by just 2 seconds. On to famous Le Mans for the 10th race of the season. The Honda moves into second place behind Jim Clark. And now it's in front. This time, it was Hume's turn for the victory, making it 10 out of 10 for the Honda racers. Next, to the last event, the Albi Grand Prix. Chris Irwin of Britain has his first outing in a Honda. That's Brabham and Irwin. The pace is fast and the competition close. At the finish, Brabham is first and Irwin, in the other Honda, is third. This makes it 11 straight victories for the Honda Formula 2, an unequaled record of winning every race entered. This is strong proof of the superiority of Honda design and workmanship. Last race of the 1966 season, Brands Hatch in England, was a letdown for the Honda team. Already secure in the Formula 2 championship, this final event proved to be the only one of the year Honda didn't win. Jack Brabham was forced into second place when delayed by a lap slower car. Jack had led for 25 of the 40 laps and set a new lap record. But the fortunes of racing denied him victory.
Well, this year I think the thing that's won it for us is, apart from reliability, the engine is very, very strong in very, very good torque characteristics, and this pulls us away from corners quite rapidly. And although there hasn't been a great deal of difference in top speed, we have actually been able to pull away from the other cars in acceleration.
And he's catching him again, and another big George catches him up as they come down to laps on also. 23 laps completed now. Scheckter and the McLaren, the 30s of Mike Harewood is frozen on him. And in third place is still the 30s of the Adamic from the Brabham of Giotto, who's pushing him hard. And then the March, of Jochen Mass from Germany in fifth place. Mike Elwood hasn't dropped Jody. Jody Scheckter going very well indeed, is only about 6 or 7 lengths behind him. A matter of a second behind him. And Trevor in a similar situation. Ronnie Peterson not quite so close as he was. Still the same order. And a new lap record for Schenkin and Peterson, 28.4. Number 3 and 4, 128.4. New lap record. And here's Scheckter. Schenkin, Peterson. Hunt and Lauder. First 5 running very close together. Then Birrell and Scott, 6th and 7th. And then a gap. And then in 8th place is John Watson, number 8. Day 4.
Change of paddock. Will officials who have cars parked in the paddock car park, which are bearing National Sports Centre car park only, please see that these vehicles are removed to the car park before they resume their duties.
I know what the problem is, but no way. I don't know anyone else who would have one. It's one of those things that a lot of people take out of you, but completely throw away because they don't use it. I can't help you on that one. Alright, I tried. Sorry.
It's going to be a good race, Chris.
We'll have a good race.
Yeah, a few people will split off.
But no, that'd be John. This would be like hell. The shot.
Formula 2 race to the marching area, please. Competitors for event 1 to the marching area, please. Cars numbers 1, 5, 9, 3, 47, 27, 33, 1, 23, 29, 49, 54, 61, 51, 39 and 17 and 7. To the marching area, please. Competitors for Heat 1, Formula 2, to the marching area, please. Car number 1, 9, 35, 51 and 54. If you're intending to start.
That works out at an average speed, in fact, that 27.4 works out at an average speed of 113.73 miles an hour. Average speed. At his time, 1 minute, 27.4. And that works out at an average speed, in fact, that 27.4 works out at an average speed of 113.73 miles an hour.